What happens when you think your husband will yell, but he stays calm and answers you with papers in a lobby? How did one morning in another man's bed turn into a custody schedule that started the same day? Why did everyone stop laughing the second my husband stopped arguing? My name is Berenice Harlow, but most people call me Benny because it sounds light and easy. I was 34, and I worked as the coordinator at a dental office. I ran the front desk, the schedule, and the small problems that could turn into big ones. I liked being the person who fixed things. I liked when people needed me. At home, it did not feel like that anymore. My husband, Ethan, was 36. He worked as a city building inspector. He was careful in a way that made him slow. He liked rules. He liked plans. He said it was how he kept people safe. I used to respect it. Later, I started calling it cold. That morning, I stood in our kitchen with my phone in my hand and my coffee going cold. Ethan asked what was wrong with me lately. I said nothing was wrong, and he was imagining it. He said he missed me and asked if we could eat together that night. I said my job was busy and he did not understand pressure. He tried to touch my shoulder. I moved away like it was too much. I told myself I had the right to set limits. I also told myself he should know why. Noah and Emma came in, still half asleep. Noah asked if I was taking him to school. I said yes and smiled big, like everything was normal. Ethan asked if he should do drop-off instead. I said he always tried to take over. His face changed, but he stayed calm. He said he was only offering help. I said help was not help if it came with questions. When Ethan left for work, he washed his mug and put it on the far side of the counter, away from mine. It was a small thing. It still felt like a message. I told myself he was being dramatic. I told myself he was trying to make me feel guilty. I felt annoyed that a mug could do that to me. At the office, the air smelled like mint and disinfectant. Phones rang. People complained about pain and money. I liked the order of it. I liked how a good schedule could control the day. Jules, my coworker, asked why I looked tired. I said I slept badly because Ethan had been weird again. I used that word on purpose because it made him sound unstable without me giving details. Jules asked if we were okay. I said we were fine and he was just needy. Around noon, Miles Rourke walked in. He was a sales rep who visited the clinic with supplies and bright smiles. He was 35 and moved like he owned every room. He asked how I was doing. I said I was surviving. He said I deserved more than surviving. I laughed like it was a joke, but I felt heat in my face. Miles asked if I wanted to grab coffee after work to talk business. I said I was busy and my husband expected me home. Miles said he understood, but he also said I seemed like a person who gave too much and got too little back. I did not correct him. I told myself he could see the truth. Later, Ethan texted to ask if I could pick up milk on the way home. I stared at the message longer than I needed to. It felt small and boring. I wanted him to text something else, something bigger, something that proved he noticed me. I wrote back that I would try. Then I added that I might be late because we were short-staffed. That part was not true. It also was not fully false, because I was always short on something. At 3, my manager reminded me about inventory checks. I nodded and made notes. Miles passed by again and said he liked how I handled people. I said I had to, because nobody at home appreciated it. The words came out too easy. That should have warned me. Instead, it felt like power. When my shift ended, I did not go straight home. I went to the coffee shop near the office. I told myself I needed quiet to think. I told myself Ethan would only ask questions and make me feel trapped. Miles was already there, sitting outside where people could see him. That made it feel safer, like it could not be wrong. Miles asked how long I had been unhappy. I said a long time. He asked if Ethan had done something terrible. I said he did not have to do something terrible to be the problem. I said living with someone who treated love like a checklist could drain a person. Miles nodded and looked angry for me. I liked that look. Miles asked if Ethan knew I felt this way. I said Ethan never listened. That was not true, but it made my choice feel cleaner. Miles said a woman should not have to beg to be wanted. I told him Ethan always acted like my body belonged to him. I said Ethan expected affection on his schedule. I left out the parts where Ethan asked gently and stopped when I said no. I focused on the parts that helped my story. When I got home, Ethan was in the kitchen cutting fruit for the kids. He asked how my day was. I said it was exhausting. He asked if I got the milk. I said I forgot because I had too much on my mind. He said it was okay, and he would go later. That kindness made me irritated because it did not give me anything to fight. I wanted a reason to be angry. I wanted him to make my choices feel forced. At dinner, Ethan asked if we could plan the weekend with the kids. I said weekends were not fun when he was in charge of everything. He asked what I wanted instead. I said he should just know. Noah asked why we were talking like that. I said grown-ups had stress and it was fine. Emma asked to sit on Ethan's lap. I watched it and told myself he was doing it to look like the good parent. That thought made no sense, but I held it anyway. Later, when the kids were asleep, Ethan asked if I was still upset with him. He asked what he could fix. I said nothing could be fixed if he kept making everything about him. He said he was trying to understand. I said understanding was not the same as changing. He asked if I wanted counseling. I said he wanted a stranger to tell me I was wrong. He went quiet and looked down at his hands. I walked past the hallway table and saw his phone light up. A calendar reminder showed a place name and a time, something like Riverside 9:30 a.m. It vanished before I could read more. Ethan picked up the phone too fast. I asked what that was. He said it was just a personal meeting. I asked with who. He said it was nothing for me to worry about. I told myself he was hiding something to punish me. I told myself it proved he was the bad one too. In the bedroom, I checked my own phone. Miles had sent a message with a simple line and an address. My heart beat faster, and I hated that it did. Ethan came in and asked if we could talk one more minute. I said I was tired and he should respect my space. He nodded and turned away. I deleted Miles's message and then felt proud, like that proved I was still in control. But the address stayed in my head like a song. I lay in the dark and told myself I deserved to feel alive. I told myself Ethan had pushed me here by being boring and safe. I told myself respect follows results, and I had results. Then my phone buzzed again, and I turned the screen down before Ethan could see it. The next day, I woke up like nothing happened. I made lunches. I tied shoelaces. I signed a school form. I did all the normal wife things, and I told myself that proved I was still a good person. Ethan watched me for a moment and asked if I wanted to talk about last night. I said there was nothing to talk about. He asked why I was so sharp. I said he was being sensitive again. At the dental office, I moved fast and smiled wide. I liked how patients called me sweet when they did not know me. Jules asked if I was okay. I said I was fine, and my marriage stress was not her problem. She said she only cared. I said caring did not pay my bills. That made her step back, and I liked that too. I liked when people learned my mood had a cost. Miles came in around lunch again. He asked if I got home safe the day before. I said yes, and told him he worried too much. He smiled and said it was hard not to worry about someone like me. I told myself his words were not dangerous. I told myself I could handle anything. Near the end of the day, Ethan texted and asked what time I would be home. I did not answer right away. I stared at the screen and felt annoyed that he expected a simple truth. Miles leaned near the counter and asked if my husband always checked on me like that. I said yes, and told him it felt like a leash. Miles asked if I wanted to get out for a bit. I said I could not because I had inventory to do. That sentence came out too smooth. It was a lie I had practiced in my head. I walked into the manager's office and said we were behind on supplies and I needed extra time. The manager nodded and told me to lock up when I was done. I felt proud. I told myself I was not doing anything wrong. I told myself I was just taking care of myself. I texted Ethan that we were short-staffed and I had to stay late. He replied that he understood and asked if I wanted him to pick up dinner. I almost felt a sting in my chest. Then I pushed it away and told myself he was only being nice now because he feared losing control. I replied that I would handle it and told him to feed the kids. Tara messaged our group chat about going to a rooftop bar. She said we needed a fun night. I said yes before I could think. I told myself I deserved fun. I told myself I had earned it by carrying the mental load at home. At the bar, the wind was cold and the lights were bright. Music thumped. People laughed too loud, like they wanted to be heard. Tara hugged me and asked if Ethan was still acting sad. I said he was always sad, and I rolled my eyes. Tara said men like to play victim. I said Ethan was the king of it. The girls laughed, and I felt warm inside. It felt like being chosen. Jules was there too, even though she said she did not like drama. She asked how things were at home. I said Ethan was trying to guilt me. She asked what he did. I said he watched me and asked questions, like I was a child. I left out the part where he asked softly and waited for my answer. Tara said I should post more so he knew I had a life. I said I did not live for him. Then I posed for photos. I posted one picture with a caption about finally breathing. I watched the likes come in. Each like felt like a vote for my side. Ethan did not comment. That made me angry in a quiet way. I wanted him to react so I could call him controlling. His silence took away my best weapon. Miles texted and asked where I was. I said I was out with friends. He asked if I wanted to come by after. I stared at the message and my throat felt tight. I told myself I could say no. I told myself I was in control. Then Tara leaned close and asked if I was texting someone fun. I said it was just a friend from work. Tara grinned and said I deserved someone who looked at me like a prize. I left the bar earlier than the others. I told them I had an early morning. Tara said she understood and said I should not let Ethan trap me at home. I smiled like she was wise. On the street, I pulled my coat tighter and walked to the parking garage. My hands shook a little. I told myself it was the cold. Miles picked me up near the corner. He asked if I was sure. I said yes, and told him not to make it heavy. He said he did not want to hurt me. I said I was already hurt at home. That line was easy too. It made me sound like the victim, and I liked it. At his place, everything looked clean in a staged way, like a hotel room. He asked if I wanted water. I said yes. He asked about Ethan. I said Ethan never saw me, not really. Miles said I should be seen. I nodded like he was giving me medicine. I remember falling asleep, not because I was tired, but because I felt safe from my own thoughts for a few hours. When I woke up, it was early and grey. I was in Miles's arms. I stared at the ceiling and told myself this was not real life, just a pocket of air. Then I saw a shape in the doorway. Ethan stood there. He was fully dressed, like he had been awake for a long time. His face was pale, but his eyes were steady. For 1 second, I waited for yelling. I waited for anger. I waited for something big. I almost wanted it, because it would prove my story. He did not do any of it. He looked at me, then at Miles, then back at me. He asked very quietly what time the kids had school and who was taking them. I sat up too fast and said this was not what it looked like. Ethan did not argue. He asked again about the kids' morning. I said I would handle it. He nodded once, like he was checking a box. I tried to turn it back on him. I told him he was invading my privacy. I told him he was acting crazy. I said he was stalking me. Ethan did not shout. He only said he would not talk here, and he would not fight in front of strangers. Then he stepped back from the doorway. Miles asked Ethan to leave. Ethan did not insult him. Ethan did not threaten him. Ethan looked at me one more time and said he would contact me later about the children. Then he walked away. The door closed. The room felt smaller. Miles asked if Ethan always acted like that. I said Ethan was trying to look calm so I would feel guilty. Miles said Ethan was playing a game. I said yes, even though I did not believe it yet. I got dressed with stiff hands. I checked my phone and saw missed calls from the babysitter and a message from school about a reminder. Life kept moving, like it did not care. I told myself Ethan was the one who ruined it by showing up. I told myself I could still fix the story. But the quiet way he left stayed in my head, and it scared me more than shouting would have. I drove home from Miles's place with my hands tight on the wheel. I kept telling myself Ethan had crossed a line by showing up. I told myself he wanted to scare me. I told myself he wanted power. It helped, because the other truth felt worse. When I walked into our house, the kids were already eating cereal. Ethan stood by the sink, calm and clean, like he had a full plan in his head. Noah asked why I was late. I said I had an emergency at work. Emma asked for a hug. I gave it fast, like a task. Ethan asked if I could stick to the school routine today. I said he was acting like my boss. He said he only wanted the kids on time. I said he was using them to control me. Ethan did not fight. He did not raise his voice. He only said he would handle drop-off. That made me angry, because it made me look messy without him saying it. When he left, he took Noah's backpack and Emma's extra shoes, like he had done it 100 times. I watched from the doorway and felt like a stranger in my own story. I went to the kitchen and saw 2 mugs on opposite sides of the counter again. His mug was placed far from mine, like a border. I told myself it was childish. Then I noticed a new key on his ring when he came back. I asked what it was for. He said it was for something practical. I asked what practical thing needed a new key. He said it was not something to debate right now. I said he was hiding things. He said he was trying to keep life stable. At work, I acted bright. I acted normal. I told Jules I was tired because Ethan had been weird and suspicious. Jules asked what happened. I said Ethan followed me and tried to embarrass me. I did not mention why he found me. I did not mention the doorway. I said Ethan had been distant for months, and now he wanted to punish me for having friends. Jules looked unsure, and I pushed harder. I said a woman could not breathe in a marriage like mine. The more I talked, the more I believed my own version. I started to feel almost proud of it. I wrote a post during lunch about finding my voice and not shrinking. Tara liked it right away and added a comment about toxic men. That comment made me feel protected, like I had a team. That afternoon, my manager asked if I could step into her office for a quick word. She said there had been chatter and it was affecting the front desk. She asked if I was okay. I said my marriage was stressful and people should mind their own business. She said she cared, but she needed the office calm. I said I always kept the office calm, and I implied that other people were jealous. I left the office with my chin up, but my stomach felt tight. At school pickup, I stood in line with other parents and kept checking my phone. Ethan arrived early, parked, and waited quietly. A mum I knew waved at him, and he waved back. That bothered me in a sharp way. He looked normal. He looked like the safe parent. I wanted him to look guilty. I wanted him to look angry. I walked up and asked why he was there. He said he came for the kids. I said he was trying to show off. He said he did not want to talk in the parking lot. People nearby glanced at us, and I felt their eyes like heat. Noah ran to Ethan first. Emma did too. I told myself it was because Ethan spoiled them. I told myself it was because he was putting on a show. Then Noah asked if we were still a team for his school project. I said yes too fast. Ethan said we would both help him and keep things calm. The way he said calm sounded like a rule. That weekend, Tara invited me to brunch with friends at a family restaurant. She said I needed to get out and not let Ethan win. I agreed. I also told myself it was harmless. I told myself I was building support. At the restaurant, Tara started talking about men who act innocent. She said some men like to trap women with good guy behavior. I laughed and said Ethan was exactly like that. I said he used silence to punish me. I said he acted calm so nobody believed me. The table reacted with gasps and jokes, and I felt like a star for a minute. Someone asked if Ethan had ever been scary. I said he could be, in his own way. I said he watched me too closely. I said he asked questions like he was building a case. I made it sound creepy, like he was obsessed. I ignored the truth that he had simply asked about the kids and walked away. I did not want the truth. I wanted my version to win. When I got home, Ethan was in the living room with a laptop open. The screen looked like rows and columns, like a spreadsheet. He closed it when I entered, not fast but firm. I asked what he was doing. He said he was organizing household stuff. I said he never organized anything before. He said he did, and I just never noticed. I said he was lying. He said he did not want to argue. Later that night, I heard a soft beep from his phone, like a reminder, or a recording app starting and stopping. I told myself he was recording me. I told myself he wanted to trap me. I knocked on the guest room door and asked what he was doing. He said he was sleeping and asked me to stop. I said he was acting like a stranger. He said I had made choices and he was adapting. In the hallway, I saw a labeled folder on the shelf, something plain like utilities. Next to it was another one that said bank. It felt strange, like he was building walls out of paper. I opened a drawer and heard a small click, like it was locked. I stared at it, angry at a lock. I told myself he was being dramatic again. I also felt a thin edge of fear, because drama usually looked louder than this. I texted Miles and told him Ethan was trying to control everything. Miles replied that I should not let Ethan scare me. I agreed, even though Ethan had not threatened me once. I needed Miles to keep feeding my story, because my story was the only thing holding me up. In bed, I scrolled through my own posts and comments. I watched people take my side without knowing facts. It felt like relief. Still, I could not forget Ethan's face in the doorway. He had looked like a man who stopped asking for permission to be respected. I told myself he would break soon. I told myself silence could not last. Then, from the other room, I heard the low hum of a shredder for a few seconds, and the house went quiet again. The next week felt like I was living beside Ethan, not with him. He moved through the house like a careful guest. He cooked, he packed lunches, he did school drop-off, and did not ask me for help. I told myself he was doing it to make me look bad. I told myself he wanted the kids to choose him. That thought made my chest tight, so I turned it into anger. One morning, I found him at the kitchen table with his laptop open again. I saw rows of numbers, but no titles. He shut it when I walked in. I asked what he was doing. He said he was organizing. I said he never organized before. He said he did not need my approval. I said he was acting secretive. He said he was acting careful. He kept his voice flat, like he was saving energy. Noah came in and asked if Dad could help with a school poster. Ethan said yes. Noah asked if Mum would help too. I said of course, like I had never skipped anything. Ethan looked at me for a second, then looked away. That look made me feel judged, so I decided I would not let him have that power. I told Sharon, my mother, that we needed a family dinner. I said Ethan was being cold and unfair. Sharon said Ethan always seemed nice, but nice men could still be cruel. She asked what he did. I said he was silent and distant and kept tracking things. Sharon said that sounded controlling. I agreed fast. I did not mention why he might be tracking anything. I only said I felt unsafe in my own home, even though he had never threatened me. I also texted Kylie, my sister. I expected her to back me. Kylie asked what I had done. I said she was taking his side. Kylie said she was taking the kids' side. That line annoyed me, because it did not leave room for my feelings. Before the dinner, I met Tara at a playground while the kids played. It was cold, but sunny. Parents stood around with coffee cups and fake smiles. Tara asked if Ethan was still pretending. I said yes, and told her he was acting like a saint to punish me. Tara said I should not let him win the story. She said I should get ahead of it. Ethan arrived to pick up the kids. He nodded to Tara, polite and quiet. Tara looked almost bored, because he gave her nothing to bite. Noah ran to Ethan and showed him a drawing. Ethan said it was great and asked Noah to tell him about it. Emma asked Ethan to push her on the swing. Ethan did it without checking his phone once. I watched and told myself it was a show. Ethan asked me, very calmly, if we could talk about the week's schedule. I said we could talk at home. He said home talks turned into fights and he wanted it clear. I said he was accusing me of being messy. He said he was asking for a plan. I said he was trying to control me with plans. He said the kids needed routine, not emotion. That word, emotion, sounded like an insult when he said it. On the way home, Noah asked why Dad slept in the guest room. I said Dad was upset and being dramatic. Noah asked if Dad was leaving. I said no, and then I added that Dad loved him. I said it quickly because it felt like a test. Ethan heard it from the front seat and did not correct me. That silence felt heavy. The family dinner was at a long-table restaurant, the kind with big plates and loud lighting. Sharon came early. Kylie came late. Ethan arrived with the kids and greeted everyone like it was a normal meal. He even asked Sharon how she was. Sharon answered, but her smile was sharp. At the table, I started my version right away. I said Ethan had been acting strange and secretive. I said he watched me and asked questions like I was a criminal. I said he came to my friend's place to spy on me. I made my voice soft, like I was describing harm. I watched people's faces change. I liked it. I wanted that. Patricia, Ethan's mother, listened without interrupting. Glenn, Ethan's father, barely spoke. Kylie looked down at her water glass, like she was tired already. Tara was not there, but her words were in my head, telling me to push. Ethan waited until I finished. Then he said calmly that he had not yelled or threatened anyone. He said he had asked only about the children's morning routine. He said he had not spoken about private details in public, and he would not start now. He said he wanted the kids to feel safe. Sharon said Ethan's calm was an act. She said calm men could be cruel. Ethan said he was sorry she felt that way, but he would not argue at a dinner table. I cut in and said he always refused to talk when it mattered. Ethan said he would talk, but only if it stayed respectful. I said respect had to be earned. I said he had not earned it because he had let our marriage get boring. Patricia finally spoke. She asked me a simple question about whether I was still seeing Miles. My face went hot. I said it was none of her business. Patricia said it became her business when the children were involved. I said she was attacking me. Patricia said she was asking, not attacking. Kylie looked at me and asked if I could answer honestly. I said Kylie was being disloyal. Kylie said I was confusing loyalty with lying. I told her she did not understand marriage. Kylie said she understood consequences. Noah started playing with his fork and asked if we could still do his school project together. I said yes, and I touched his hand like I was the stable one. Ethan said yes too, and he said we would keep it calm for Noah. Again with calm, like a rule, like a warning. After dinner in the parking lot, Ethan walked the kids to the car first. Patricia followed and helped buckle Emma. Sharon whispered that Ethan was turning everyone against me. I agreed, because it was easier than looking at myself. At home, Ethan put the kids to bed without asking me to join. I followed him to the hallway and said he was trying to make me feel excluded. He said he was trying to keep bedtime peaceful. I said peace was just another way to punish me. He did not answer. Later, I saw a sticky note on the counter that said, "Bring forms." There was also a new tab open on the shared computer for delivery tracking. When I asked Ethan what he ordered, he said it was something for the house. I asked what thing needed tracking. He said he did not want to discuss it at night. I went toward the guest room. The door was closed. I knocked and asked if he was going to talk to me like an adult. He said he was sleeping and asked me to stop. I said he was acting like I did not exist. He said we both knew why things changed, and he would not pretend otherwise. I walked back to the kitchen and smelled faint toner again, like someone printed something earlier. On the wall calendar, I saw meeting personal, written in neat letters. I asked Ethan about it the next morning. He said it was his time and he would keep it. His tone was not mean, it was final. And for the first time, I wondered if I had pushed him past the point where my words could move him at all. The day after the family dinner, I woke up with a hard feeling in my throat, like I had swallowed a stone. I told myself it was because everyone had treated me unfairly. I told myself Ethan had turned them against me with his calm face and his careful words. I told myself I was still the same person, and they were the ones changing. Ethan was already up. He stood in the kitchen and packed the kids' snacks into small bags. He did not look angry. He did not look sad. He looked focused. Noah asked if we were doing the school poster today. Ethan said yes, and asked Noah to choose the pictures. Emma asked for pancakes. Ethan said he would make them after drop-off. I watched him move like he had practiced a new routine. I asked why he was acting like I was not there. He said he was acting like a parent. I said that was a cheap answer. He said he did not want to fight in front of the children. I said he was using the children as a shield. He did not argue with that. He only asked if I was taking Emma to daycare, or if he should. I said I would take her, even though I knew I was running late. I did not want him to do it, because then I would look like the problem. In the car, Emma played with her toy and hummed. I kept checking my phone. Tara had sent messages about how men love to play innocent. She asked if I wanted to come to the gym later. She said I needed a reset. I told her yes, and I felt relief, like I could still run to my people and stay in control. At work, I forced my smile. I talked fast. I acted like nothing was wrong. Jules kept her distance, like she was afraid of being pulled into my mess. When she finally asked how I was, I said Ethan was punishing me with silence. Jules asked if I had tried to talk. I said talking did not work with someone like Ethan because he wanted to win. Jules asked what he was winning. I said he was winning the story. Around lunch, my manager asked me to step aside again. She said patients had heard gossip at the front desk. She said she needed professionalism. I said I was the professional one, and people were trying to shame me for having a hard marriage. She said she did not care about my marriage, only the workplace. I walked out with my face hot and my jaw tight. I told myself she was judging me. I told myself everyone was. After work, I went to the gym lobby to meet Tara. I saw couples and friends laughing near the smoothie bar. Tara asked how I was holding up. I said Ethan was acting like a stranger and trying to control money. Tara asked if he had done something with accounts. I said I did not know, but I could feel it. That was true in a way. It felt like the air had changed. When I got home, I stopped at the supermarket for a few things. I picked up snacks, a fancy drink, and a small toy for Emma because I wanted her to smile at me. At the checkout, my card declined. The machine beeped and the cashier looked tired. People behind me shifted and sighed. I felt heat rush into my face. I tried again. It declined again. I laughed like it was nothing and said the machine must be broken. The cashier said it happened sometimes and asked if I had another card. I did not. I checked my phone, like the answer would appear there. I felt the line watching me. Ethan walked into the store then, like he had been there the whole time. He looked at the items and asked if I needed help. I said I did not, but my voice shook. He paid with his card, without drama. He did not insult me. He did not lecture me. He only said we should keep non-essential spending low for now. I said he was embarrassing me on purpose. He said the only embarrassment was making a scene. That line stung because it was calm, and it was true. In the car, I told him he was controlling me through money. He said he was controlling expenses, not me. I said that was the same thing. He said it was not. He said we had children and a house and bills. I said he never cared about bills before. He said he always cared, but now he had to be precise. At home, Noah and Emma ran to Ethan. I hated how natural it looked. Ethan asked if I could help Noah with the poster while he started dinner. I said I had already done enough today. Noah's face fell. Ethan did not react. He only sat with Noah and asked him what he wanted to show on the poster. Noah said he wanted pictures of bridges. Ethan smiled and said they could print some. I heard the printer in the other room later. It made that steady sound, then stopped. I smelled that faint toner again. I walked toward the desk and saw the paper tray open. I did not see any clear pages lying around. It felt like Ethan wanted me to hear the printer, but not see the result. I told myself he was doing it to scare me. That evening, I tried to call Miles. I wanted him to tell me I was right. I wanted him to say Ethan was a villain, and I was a trapped woman. Miles did not answer. He texted later and asked if I was okay. I said Ethan was acting like he was building a case against me. Miles replied that Ethan sounded petty. I held on to that word, petty, like it could protect me. After the kids went to bed, I pushed Ethan for a talk in the kitchen. I told him he had no right to cut me off from money. He asked what I meant by cut off. I said my card declined. He said he had not cut me off, but he had separated spending so bills could be paid on time. I asked if he was punishing me. He said he was preventing chaos. I asked why he was making lists and folders and locking drawers. He said he was organizing the household. I said he was hiding things. He said he was keeping records, because feelings were not facts. I said he was acting like I was dangerous. He said he was acting like the situation was serious. I tried to turn it into a fight. I told him he was cold and cruel. I told him he was a bad husband, long before I did anything wrong. I said he had pushed me away with his boring life and his quiet rules. I expected him to snap, to finally shout, to give me something I could point at. He did not. He looked at me for a long moment, then asked if I could keep our conversations child-focused and calm. I said he was treating me like a co-worker. He said that was better than treating each other like enemies. I said he was acting superior. He said he was trying to be stable. I stepped closer and asked what he was planning. He said he was planning for the kids and the house. I asked if he was leaving me. He said he was not discussing big decisions in the kitchen at night. I said he was avoiding me again. He said he was avoiding chaos. I told him I would tell everyone what he did, how he showed up and stared at me like a judge. He asked if I really wanted to keep dragging private things into public places. I said people deserved to know who he was. He said people already knew who he was, because he showed it every day. My chest tightened. I hated that I could not make him ugly with words anymore. I asked what he wanted from me. He said he wanted peace for the children and clear boundaries for adults. I said boundaries were just a fancy word for punishment. He said boundaries were what happened when trust was gone. Then he said something that made my skin go cold. He said he would handle it properly. He did not raise his voice. He did not explain. He did not threaten. He only repeated, in the same calm tone, that he would handle it properly. The next morning, the building concierge at my office tower called my name as I walked in. He asked if I could come to the lobby desk for a minute. I said I was late and I had patients on the schedule, even though I did not. He said it would only take a moment. I walked down with my bag still open and my hair still damp. I told myself Ethan had sent flowers or a note to embarrass me. I told myself he was trying to pull me back into a fight where I could win. My heart beat fast, but I kept my face tight, like I was in charge. In the lobby, I saw Ethan near the windows, standing straight. He was not pacing. He was not red-faced. He looked like he had slept. Next to him stood a woman in business clothes with a calm posture. She held a plain folder. I knew what she was before I wanted to know. I knew because she did not look at me like family. She looked at me like a process. I walked up and asked Ethan what he was doing. He said he was here to handle things properly. I laughed and said he was being dramatic. He did not answer the laugh. He nodded at the woman. She stepped forward and asked me to confirm my name. I said yes and asked why she needed it. She said she had documents for me, and she needed to record that I received them. I said I would not take anything. She said she could place them in my hand or at my feet, but service would still count. People walked past us with coffee cups. Someone swiped a badge at the turnstile and glanced over. The security guard watched without moving. I felt my face heat up. I told myself Ethan picked this place on purpose so I could not cry safely. The woman handed me the papers. I took them because refusing would make me look guilty. My fingers shook. I told myself it was anger. I looked at the top page and saw words that made my stomach drop. I saw that Ethan was not joking. I saw that he was not begging for a talk. I saw he had already moved without me. I said Ethan was trying to ruin my life. Ethan said he was trying to protect the children and make things clear. I said he was acting like I was dangerous. He said he was acting like trust was gone and the kids needed stability. I said he was doing this to punish me for one mistake. He said it was not one mistake, and it was not about punishment. I flipped pages too fast. I saw temporary orders. I saw a parenting schedule. I saw rules about communication. I saw that the schedule started today. I read it again, slower, because my brain did not accept it the first time. Today, not next week, not after a long talk. Today. I looked at Ethan and asked if he really wanted to take the kids from me. He said he was not taking the kids from me. He said it was shared time with structure. He said the children would be with him certain days and with me certain days. He said exchanges would be calm and on time. He said there would be no surprise visits and no yelling in front of the kids. He said messages should be about the children only. I tried to grab onto one sentence and twist it. I said he was controlling my words now. He said he was setting boundaries, not controlling me. I said he was trying to make me look like a bad mother. He said he was trying to make mornings predictable for Noah and Emma. I asked the woman if this was even legal, like the word itself could stop it. She said she could not give me legal advice and told me to read the instructions on the pages. She said the next steps were listed clearly. She said there were deadlines. The word deadlines made me feel small. My phone buzzed in my pocket. It was Tara. I did not answer. I imagined her voice asking for details, like it was entertainment. I imagined her telling me to post about toxic men. I knew that would not fix anything now. The lobby lights were too bright for pretending. Ethan asked if I had a plan for childcare that afternoon. I said I could figure it out. He said he had already arranged pickup for today because he knew I might be at work. He said Patricia would help if needed. Hearing his mother's name in this moment made me angry and embarrassed at the same time. I told Ethan he had no right to involve his parents. He said he had the right to build support for the children. I said he was making me the villain. He said I made myself the villain when I chose secrecy and public shame. I tried a softer angle. I said we could still fix this. I said I could end things with Miles and come home fully. I said we could start over. I said I needed time. Ethan looked at me like he was listening to a stranger sell something. He said he would not negotiate in a lobby. He said the schedule would be followed. He said if I wanted to talk about the kids, I could message him in a calm way. I asked why he was doing this so fast. He said he had been calm for weeks, and I had used that calm to hurt him. He said he was done being a target. He said he would not fight me, but he would not live inside my chaos. I stared down at the pages again. I saw my own name, next to words like temporary and order and schedule. I saw the first exchange time. I saw the start date again, like a stamp on my forehead. I felt the lobby spinning, but I forced my feet to stay still. Ethan stepped back and adjusted his jacket. He said he had to go pick up the kids later, and he would be on time. He said he expected me to be on time too. He did not insult me. He did not threaten me. He did not even raise his voice. He just turned toward the doors. I wanted to call after him. I wanted to tell him he was cruel. I wanted to tell him he could not do this, but my voice stayed trapped behind my teeth. I watched him walk out into the morning crowd, calm and steady, while I stood in the lobby, holding papers that said my life had already changed today.